Hey yogis, it's Doona here. So I literally just went on a 5-mile run, which is why I decided to do a class specifically for runners and walkers or cyclists, any athletes. So today we're going to really focus on our calves, hamstrings, especially our hip flexors, lower back, and also a lot of upper body shoulder movement. Okay, so when I used to be in cross country in high school, my coach used to always tell me to relax the arms, let the arms flow, relax the shoulders. So for most runners, you guys still tense up, which is why I'm going to really focus on the upper body as well. All right, so grab your 2 blocks, grab a strap. We'll go ahead and meet on our backs. Once you're on your back, you're just going to get into a comfortable lying position, just like Shavasana. And make sure your strap is easily accessible for you. So just place it right next to your mat. And then we'll go ahead and get started with 3 slow, strong, graceful breaths. Breathing in and out through your nose, constricting the back of your throat. So try to create that audible noise, that oceanic noise. And when you're finished, inhale, hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Get that nice release through the lower back. Then come back to center. Drop your left leg all the way down. Interlace your fingers around your right knee. Then make big circles with your right knee going one direction. Then go ahead and switch to the other direction, making bigger and bigger circles. Come back to center. Inhale, squeeze in. Exhale, straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Either interlace your fingers behind your thigh, behind your ankle, option to grab your toes or grab your strap. Just make sure that your shoulders don't lift up. So press your shoulder blades down your mat and drop your shoulders down towards your hips. Always option to bend your right knee as much as you need. Then from here, flex your right foot a lot, like you're trying to kick the ceiling with your right heel. Then you'll feel it more into the back of that ankle, back into your calves. Now, I want you to point your right toes like a ballerina, getting the stretch in the front of your ankle into your shins. From here, flex, point, flex, point. Option to make some circles with your ankle. And then just a couple more rounds of breath here. Do what feels good for you. Always option to take a static hold. Good. Hug your right knee back into your chest. Cross your right knee over your body. Supine twist. Tee out your right arm. Gaze past your right shoulder. Feel that nice stretch into your right shoulder, into your pec. And then getting that nice release through your lower back. Inhale, come back to center. Neutralize your spine. And let's switch sides. Drop your right leg, hug your left knee into your chest. Make big circles with your left knee, lubricating your hip joint. Switch directions. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Again, any layer that feels best for you. This side might be a little bit tighter, so again, listen to your body and do what feels right. If you haven't already, start to flex your left foot. Point. Maybe make some circles. And we'll take about 5 more breaths here. Inhale, squeeze your left knee into your chest. Exhale, supine twist. 5 breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Hug both knees back into your chest. Exhale, happy baby pose. Grab for the outside of your feet. Stack your ankles directly over your knees. Option to rock side to side, massage through the lower back. Always option to straighten one leg or 2 legs at a time. Get into your hamstrings, inner thighs. Then bring the soles of your feet to touch for Supta Baddha Konasana. See if you could press your knees out with your elbows and hug your feet in towards your belly. Keep your lower back grounded. Option to rock side to side. Hug your knees into your chest. Grab behind your thighs. Come all the way up to tabletop position. Plant your hands. Drop your knees. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly. Lift your chest. Gaze all the way up. Exhale, cat pose. Round and push the floor away. Inhale, arch through your mid and upper back. Gaze up. Exhale, round. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Then take the next few breaths to create any free movements here, bringing awareness, bringing some understanding into your body, and just playing around, doing what feels good in your body today. Come back to tabletop position. Gaze forward, walk your hands forward, but keep your hips over knees. Drop down to your first puppy pose. Either drop your forehead or drop your chin down. Focus is to really press your chest down towards the floor, opening up through the shoulders and through the upper back. Come all the way down to your belly for your Sphinx Pose. Drop your elbows underneath your shoulders. Then press your forearms into the floor. Lift your chest. Be mindful of your lower back. So hug the belly in. Slightly activate through the glutes. Then draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Open your chest. Gaze down, come back onto your knees, and let's meet in child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees wide apart. Relax your forehead all the way down. See if you can stretch your fingertips further out, opening up through the shoulders and the arms. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips go high. Feel free to pedal out your knees. Really getting into your calves, all the way up to your hamstrings. Find stillness. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet behind your wrist. Point your toes forward. Option to bend your knees. Grab opposite elbows and dangle your head. Rock side to side. Maybe rock forward and back. Come back to center. Release your hands. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Halfway lift. Exhale. Fold over your right leg. So walk your hands to the outside of your right foot. Drop your left shoulder down. Always option to bend your knees. Inhale. Come back to center and lengthen your spine. Exhale. Fold over your left leg. Walk your hands towards the left side. Drop your forehead towards your left knee. Square your shoulders. Inhale, come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your hips and rise all the way up to standing position. Right away, tuck your tailbone, engage your core. Release your arms by your side, option to walk your feet to touch. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to mid plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Open your elbows, open your chest. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. On or off your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll meet in downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Relax your head. Relax your jaw. Energize through your fingertips. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Walk your feet hip width, distance apart. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Option to keep your elbows bent. Otherwise, lift your hands off your lower back, straighten your arms, and see if you could dangle your arms behind your head. Keep your head relaxed. The more you shift your weight forward, the more stretch into your calves. Release your binds. Walk your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot way back. Frame your right foot. Lift your chest to lengthen your spine and straighten out through the back leg. Pull your chest forward and see if you could drop your hips a little lower. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Drop your left knee. Inhale, Crescent Moon. Lift your torso. Reach your arms over your head. Interlace your fingers on top of your right thigh. As you inhale, push your palms into your thigh and lift your frontal hip crease. Then as you exhale, drag your palms forward and sink a little bit deeper. So if you're doing this correctly, you should feel the stretch into your left hip flexor and your legs should stay active. So you're not just dumping down. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Try to keep the activation. Release your arms behind you. Interlace. Inhale. Chest expansion. Open your heart. Gaze up. Press your hands down. Inhale. And as you exhale, release your binds. Plant your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot out. First runner's lunge, option to drop to your forearms. and relax your head. So this one is specifically called Runner's Lunge. It targets all the necessary areas that we need: our hips, hamstrings, IT band, glutes, hamstrings. It feels so nice here. Come back onto your hands. Lift your left knee. Walk your right foot between your hands. Then hop your left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. Low lunge. Pause in your lunge. Stack your left knee over left ankle. Straighten through the back leg. And lift your chest. Pull your sternum forward. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Drop your right knee. Inhale, Crescent Moon. Exhale, interlace your fingers and plant your hands on top of your left thigh. Do about 3 sets on your own. Inhale, push your hands into your left thigh, lift your chest. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, chest expansion. Come back to center, runner's lunge. Replant your palms. We'll come back to your forward fold towards the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Lead with your inner thigh. Exhale, open your knee, open your hip. Make big circles with your right knee, going one direction first. Switch directions. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Drop your left knee, then straighten out your right leg, half splits. Feel free to grab your blocks underneath your hands. Flex your right foot so your toes points up. Always option to bend your right knee. Rather than rounding your upper back, see if you could lift your chest. Option to bring your block with you. Walk your left hand to the outside of your right leg and twist as far as you can go. So the deeper you twist, the more stretch you'll feel in your IT band. Keep your hips squared. Come back to center. Rebend your right knee. Lift your left knee. Inhale, pyramid pose. Hop your left foot slightly forward and drop your left heel. Draw your right outer hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, lift your chest to lengthen your spine. Now to focus more on your calf, option to lift your right toes. This one's a deep one, so be gentle. No need to lift your right toes. You could always keep it down. Good. If your right toes are lifted, go ahead and drop it down. Keep your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, revolved pyramid. Reach your right arm high. Pull your sternum forward to lengthen your spine. Drop your right hand, step your left foot back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Make big circles here. Keep your shoulders squared. Switch directions. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Drop your right knee. Inhale, half splits. Keep your hips over your right knee. You might have to lift your hips slightly up, then drop your left hip back. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. Now walk your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Again, twisting as deep as you can go. Come back to center. Rebend your left knee. Inhale, pyramid pose. Point your right toe slightly out. Hug your left outer hip back, right hip forward. Lift your chest. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. So if you did on the other side, option to lift your left toes. I know for me, my calves are really, really tight. They're tighter than my hamstrings. So I like to always focus on them. Drop your left toes. Inhale, revolved pyramid. Option to gaze up past your left hand. Reach up a little higher. Drop your left hand. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Drop your back heel, point your left toe slightly out. As you rise, keep your shoulders squared. Relax your shoulders down your back. Try to stack your right knee over right ankle. Maybe parallel your thigh to the floor. Inhale. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Either heel to heel alignment or feet hip width distance apart. Feel a stretch into your right hip flexor. So really straighten out through that back leg. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Simple sun bee flow. Let's move breath to movement. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, Chaturanga. Go ahead and finish off the last side on your own. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Option to drop into your child's pose. Otherwise, let's meet in dolphin pose. Drop your forearms. Relax your head. Push your chest back towards your thighs. And always option to walk your feet forward. The more you lift your toes, the more stretch you'll feel in the back of the calves. Good. And let's all meet in child's pose if you're not there already. Take this moment to settle back into your space, reconnect to your breath. Notice how you feel. Notice if you're still clenching or holding on to tension. See if you can soften and relax those areas. Thread your right arm underneath your left shoulder. Relax your right cheek. Go ahead and switch sides. And come back to center. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Big hop forward. Inhale, standing splits. Hop your left leg up. Walk your hands forward underneath your shoulders. Keep your spine lengthened, chest stays lifted. Then gaze back at your left toes. Make sure it's pointing down. If it's pointing out, that means your hips are open. Keep them squared. Pulse it out and kick higher and higher for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your right knee. Step your left foot way back and twist over to your left for your wide-legged forward folds. Point your toes straight forward or slightly pigeon toe. Hinging from your hips, fold all the way down. Goes underneath your wrist. Plant your hands forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, Skandasana to the right. Point your right toes out. Straighten out your left leg. Option to sit on a block or option to bring your hands to heart. So nice and tall. Relax your shoulders, open your chest. Good. And then we'll switch sides. Bend your left knee, straighten out your right leg. Sit up nice and tall. You could always keep your hands on the floor. Try to point your left knee out. Good. Plant your hands, come back to your wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to low lunge to the top of your mat. Walk your right foot towards your left wrist. Drop your right knee towards your right wrist for half pigeon. Walk your left leg behind you, straighten it out. Either stay lifted, otherwise, sleeping pigeon. Come back onto your hands, bend your left knee, and grab your left foot with your left hand, adding a nice quad stretch. If you have mermaid in your practice, hook your left elbow around your left foot. Reach your right hand behind you and interlace your fingers. Good. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Feel free to take your vinyasa, skip it. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Big hop forward. Inhale, standing splits. Again, pulsing it out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Bend your left knee. Step it way back. Wide-legged forward fold. This time, interlace your fingers behind your back and see if you could lift your hands away from the lower back. Release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands towards your left ankle and fold over your left leg. Try to square your hips as best as you can. Walk over towards your right ankle and drop your left shoulder slightly down, getting that nice side body stretch into your lats. Come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Half pigeon pose. Few breaths here. Make sure your left knee is pointing out. Please add your quad stretch if you did on the other side. And then maybe your mermaid pose. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, squat and curl. Lower all the way down onto your sit bones. Straighten out your right leg in front of you. Hook your left foot into your right inner thigh. Make sure your right toes points up. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Fold over your right leg. Always option to bend your right knee. Keep your chest lifted. Hug your belly in. Inhale, slowly rise. And exhale, switch sides. Both sit bones stays grounded. Always option to sit on a block. Come back to center. Straighten out both legs in front of you. Cross your right foot over your left thigh. Seated twist to your right. Come back to center. Switch sides. Come back to center, straighten out both legs, big toes to touch. Roll your inner thigh slightly down And scoot your hamstrings back. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, fold over your legs. Again, keeping the chest lifted, so you keep the spine long and lengthen. Press the shoulders down towards the hips. Inhale, rise, scoot your hips forward, and let's lower down onto our backs. Coming into our figure 4, right ankle on top of left thigh. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Otherwise, option to interlace your fingers over your left shin. Press the shoulders down. Now, if your hands are interlaced behind your left thigh, inhale, straighten your left leg, flex your left foot a lot, adding a nice calf and hamstring stretch. Rebend your left knee, keep your figure 4 legs, tee out your arms, and drop your legs over to your left. Scoot your hips to the right first. Come back to center. Cross your left ankle over right. Figure 4. Option to add a hamstring stretch. Keep your lower back grounded. Rebend your right knee. Scoot your hips to the left. Drop your legs to the right. Figure 4, supine twist. Come back to center. Neutralize your spine. I like to scoot my hips forward for my plow pose and shoulder stand. So feel free to do that. Then plant your feet, walk your hands towards your heels. Then straighten out your legs up towards the sky. As you inhale, lift your hips over your shoulders. An option to drop your toes towards the floor. Gazes up the entire time. Try to lift your hips a little higher to lengthen the spine. Bring your hands to your lower back. Lift one leg up towards the sky for your shoulder stand. Try to lift the hips, lengthen the spine up. Reach your toes up, chin away from the chest, gazes up. Come back to your plow pose. Release your hands as slowly as you can. Lower down into your Shavasana pose. Once you're settled in, let go of your breath. Let go of your practice. And just take this moment to be still. Take as long as you need in your Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me today in our Yoga for Runners class. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I just swallowed a bug. literally went in my mouth. All right, friends. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me. Namaste.